Alright, Flosstube fam, is the Dace man here. My name is Dace, my pronouns are he, they, and I am here with my September stitching update. I have got a whip pile bigger than the size of my head, so without further ado, we're going to get into top down. We're going to take a look at what we've got. So my first project, as always, the wonderful Eeveelutions Possibilities Rainbow art by Alyssa Gerwig, also known as Walking Melons. This was a 2%er right now. I've added 2% to it. Essentially, I have worked on it this month. Usually I get 1.5% in and then film the video, get my 1.5% in. But this month, I'm a few days late. I've already had a little head start on this. So I was probably hanging around up here before. Added approximately 8,000 stitches since we've got through Sylvian's face. We did the eye on stream and a little bit of the face. I think this area is actually one of the cutest parts in the whole image. Speaking of, how about we have an image for this? There we go. I've been working this up in columns. We've got 18% to go. I'm going to do 1 more percent on this month, so you will see it again next video. It's been a lot of pink. I have had to stitch so much pink, and I don't like pink. The hot pinks are fine. I don't mind the hot pinks. It's these candy pinks that, no, not for me. Not my favourite. But got through it, worked a whole bunch of 3865 in, still a bit more of that to go. The white on white on this project has been legendary. If you know, you know. Otherwise, that's Eeveelutions, 82% from 80% since you last saw it. Good deal of Sylvian done there, and hopefully, like next time, we'll probably be around here somewhere. Fill in the neck, bit background. Yeah. So the next piece, as always, is our Meeting of Tangled Paths artwork by Stephanie Pleeman-Law. The area I have got Q-snapped up for you today is the next page I've been working on. I finished the previous page, there's a picture of that on Instagram, which is linked below. We've got most of this bird's wing now done, if not all of it, and we're starting to work into the background again. It's a bit of a sad moment, really, because I think that bird really is the end of detail for a while. We're going to be working in quite a lot of background for the foreseeable future on this one. I did make an error on the previous page that I do need to go back and frog and restitch. Somehow I've stitched in the wrong colour and it's quite obvious and I don't like it. I will fix that eventually, but for now I'm going to press forward because honestly the error is underneath the Q snap. I've made it so I can't possibly go back and fix that right now, no. But we'll move forward, and when I can be bothered I'm going to restitch the colour that's wrong on this. So I've taken this from 25% to 26.25%. I'm quite happy with the progress, and while it is going to be background from now on, the stitching is typically a bit easier. There's less confetti, you know, you're finishing a whole thread off. It's quite a pleasant stitch, really. The colours are a bit naff, but there's nothing that off-putting about working on this. I'm quite happy to get it out every month and put some work into it. And all that work is adding up. We've got way over a quarter done now, so I feel good about that one overall. Next up, our third focus project every month is Raven God. I try to get 4% in onto this one every single month at the moment, and this time I went from 36 to 40%, so this is now 40.01% done. Literally 40%. So I worked entirely in this area this month, so I filled in the whole rest of this corner, including the confetti. Did a whole bunch of stuff over here, worked a bit downwards. I think next month I am gonna move somewhere else. I might actually work here where the other bird starts. It's one of those pieces where I can just work wherever I want, and we're kind of coming towards halfway as well, so progress is being made quite rapidly, I'd say. 4% a month. That's not too bad. The artwork is once again by Stephanie Pleeman-Law. Yeah, I don't know. I think I will. I think I'm going to work here next month. Going to get to 44%. Going to play around in this area here. See what I get. See what I get done. I think there's a good mixture of quite heavy confetti, but a little bit of background. Although even the background on this is typically quite confetti heavy. The watercolor art style kind of requires a little bit of mushy color here and there. So that's that. Not much to report on that really. It was just a bit, you know, just a bit Raven Goddy really. That one, to get 4%, it's about 4,300 stitches. So I just do like 430 a day for 10 days essentially, so it's like proper spread out and I don't have to sit and work on it for hours on end. Next up we have our Whip Go projects. I have got 100 owls, which we started off last month and didn't quite finish both Whip Go sessions on, but we have now. I have got 3 Whip Go projects today. We did some catch up. So for Whip Go Wednesdays on 100 owls, we mostly worked in this area here. I believe what we did was we basically finished off a page. So there was this little guy, a couple of bits of green stuff, this little guy, and this large owl here, which I think looks a bit like an angry turkey. Can't remember what owl it is now. We do look at what the owls are when we stitch this. And then when I had a bit of time spare, I went up here, did this little thing. Oh, we also did this owl in the corner. Forgot about that. Yeah, so we did this owl, we did all this, and then we did these guys. Probably that needle minder so you can actually see what's going on here. I don't know how many owls I've stitched so far. Feel free to pause and count them if you like, but I'd say we're over a third done on this piece now. This is one of those projects. It's an owl forest, and I got the thread pack, so I'm trying to like make it last, trying to enjoy it, take my time over it, and it, you know, it's a whip as long as it's a whip, and I will just have a good time stitching it whenever it comes out. There are some threads in this that I just really love, like this variegated one here. My favourite thread is this green one. I do actually have to frog and restitch some of these because they're a bit out of place, but never mind, we'll get to that. But yeah, this green one where there's got some like little coppery tones in it, I really like that thread. You can see it here as well. Yeah, the threads in this project really make me happy every time. I'm stitching this on a 40 count apricot witch alt linen, so it's a little different to the green that the mock-up is on, but I think it kind of works. I like it. I have a good time with that project, especially like I said because of the threads. Our next Whip Go project is Saga, so a long dog sampler. I dyed a 25 count even weave, bright yellow. It's an opalescent even weave, so it's got lots of sparkle to it. We are overexposed as heck right now. The sun has come to play apparently. But here it is. We've got a whole arch added. I did some backstitch over here to get these fissures in too. But yeah, over 2 Whip Go sessions we added an arch. I then unhooped it, realised that I haven't really finished the columns off over here, but oh well. Like I was like, you know what? I should go back and do those, but I'm not gonna. Like I'll probably end up doing those when I do the arch underneath, honestly. Yeah, I enjoy doing this one. This is worked up with a sulky thread. Can't remember what number now, but it's got like reds, purples, greens, bit of orange. So it's quite dual toned, kind of royal hues. It's a silly one. This just I stitched this one mostly for fun. I really enjoy the bright colours and how it works up. And this little scene I really enjoyed. I like these little houses, and then obviously the boat, tiny little boat, little fishes. I would say that was the most enjoyable arch yet, apart from the leaves. I don't love leaves. You know, pathing little leaves kind of sucks, and I made mistakes, but they're quite an organic shape. You can kind of You can kind of fudge them a bit, and I did. I don't think you could tell. So that was Saga by Long Dog. Quite happy to have seen that one again. Next up we have Houses of Hawkrun Hollow. So this whip go was actually only completed yesterday, which, you know, is technically October, but don't worry about that. We've got the best part of the second block done now. Oh, the linen's attacking. Ugh. Never mind. So yeah, we got the best part of this second block done now. We've been working on this house. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this house. It's got like proper bright orange bricks, and the pathing for each particular thread is a little joy. There's no annoying little bits. It's just you finish your thread off and you get some detail in. I do need to frog a layer of stitches from the edge of this roof, but that's fine. That's just a little surgery I'm going to have to perform. I don't know when we'll have this out again. This is on a 40 count linen again, and I'm stitching this in the DMC conversion. It was out for Whip Go. It's done with Whip Go now, so we might not even see it again till next year, but I always love working on this. This is a little highlight of mine. When I get to see it, I have a good time. And this house in particular, way more fun than this house. I rate this house. But obviously we still need to finish the house, which is 3 stories, and stick another tree in there to the border. There's also like garden detail each side. So we might be on this square for a little while. They're very dense. There's a lot of stitching that goes into each of these. So we'll probably have this one on the go for quite a while. Although the fun thing is, I do actually have a second sheet of this linen because I accidentally added 2 to my cart without realising. So I need to choose another hawk run to do when I'm done with that one, if I'm ever done with it. I plan to be. So those were the whip goes. We actually have our full coverage Friday picks now. So our whip wheel chose the Octopus by Jeff Haney for us to begin with, and we worked on it for 1 session as per the whip wheel's demands. Oh, the sun's gone away again now, that's better. So where did we work? We've been working down this feather. For an octopus, there is not a lot of octopus. I see that, I understand. I don't love it. We worked down this feather, and we worked down, and there was one thread where I started it, and the way it pathed along, we actually did get 1 stitch into the octopus. I'm very excited. We've finally hit the top of the octopus. Just about. But the feathers coming along real nice. I like the way the little gems, the detail works up in the feather when all the colours are in. It looks like a complete mush. You put your last colour in and it just clicks and makes a lot of sense all of a sudden. So, you know, we don't see this one often, but I'm glad because it's one of the older whips and it's nice to get a little bit of progress into it. And we did indeed, we got from 9.72 to 10.52% on this one, so we're over 10% now. We might have to pick up the pace a little on this one. I want to see some actual octopus on this. The reason I chose this pattern is I love the geometric like patterns that are on the octopus arms and body. I didn't pick it because I like the feather. So it'll be nice to move on into the good bits, basically. But yeah, quite happy with that. Happy we got to see it. Finally getting through that feather. I think next time we work on that, we won't have to work the feather ever again. Our next whip wheel pick was Garden of Earthly Delights. So my biggest whip, my 1.7 million stitch whip. We always have to find it because there's so much fabric. Right, I found it. So I only got 1 stitching session in on this, but what I did was I actually pulled it out for a second one, just on my own, just to get a few hundred more stitches in. I always feel so bad for this project because 1 stitching session adds nothing to it percentage wise. I literally got this from 0.58 to 0.66%. I added so little to it. However, every stitch counts and they'll add up and we'll get there in the end. I've got a fair bit of the kind of minty green, light blue portion of sky done now. Got a little bit of this building in. I actually made a point of doing a little confetti to get it over and done with. The good news is I am going to work on this again. It's been picked for full coverage Friday this week, so I am going to be working on this on Friday, and I decided I was going to actually finish this page off over the month as well, because this piece just needs all the help it can get, and if I'm getting it out for one full coverage Friday, I might as well just crack on, see if I can complete this page. And I'll be able to do that as part of our monthly stitch along, which I will talk to you about a little bit later. But yeah, Garden of Earthly Delights got a little go. The artwork by Hieronymus Bosch, of course. Look at all that fabric. That's just ridiculous. Oh man, what did we do next? For our third full coverage Friday, Owl Faces was picked. Owl Faces, I believe it's by Tidy Stitches. Tiny Stitches, Tidy Stitch. It's an Etsy shop. I love this pattern. I'm stitching this on 11 count Ada so that it's nice and big and bold, and big and bold it is indeed. Look at those bad boys. So last time I'd worked on this, I'd finished the first owl. This time I started the second one, and I made a point of getting about halfway through it so that I can finish it in another stitching session. And if I do half an hour per stitching session, it'll be done in 32 sessions. That's my logic, that's my goal, that's what I'm going to try to work with. So I got half of this owl in. The bright red, orange and orange are really standing out on this now. I really like this owl overall, even though there's quite a lot of peach and browns. A lot of this project is browns. I've just got to deal with it, I think. But I'm stitching it 4/1, so the stitches are very squishy. It's quite nice to sit and poke this one. I don't know if anyone else sits and like pokes their cross stitch, but for this project I do. It's just so squishy. But those are the owl faces so far. We've got 1.5 owls. Quite a way to go. So I got from 6.25 to 9.41%. Not too bad. Nice little stitching session. Uses a lot of thread though. Like a lot of thread. Which, you know, I anticipated going in. But it still surprises me every time. Just how much thread that uses up. You pull a 6-strand meter and it's gone in like 120 stitches. Alright, so the community craft along this month was actually a 3D based make something physically shaped, like it was a Shapely September. A sketch was hosting it. I do not have my fish with me. I forgot to pick my fish up, but I crocheted another one of my gay fish and I did finish it. I promise I did finish it, but I did another one of these for the community craft along. So that was that. But what I did in terms of cross stitch for a community stitch along was I worked on a sampler for Sampler September, which is more of a generic stitching community thing. I know people stitch on samplers for September sometimes. So I got Ann Thomas out. Now, when I say I got Ann Thomas out, I didn't do as much as I hoped. I didn't realise how much working on Ann Thomas was a bit of a pain in the backside to do when you're working on it a lot. It's nice in like small doses, this one, but I had to work on it quite frequently and it was slow going. I wasn't really that into it. After a little while my hype for it sort of slipped. However, I would still say I did some nice progress. So I finished this wreath where Philippa Partridge already sat. This is a Hands Across the Sea sampler, by the way, and it's on 40 count. I dyed the fabric myself a long time ago. It was one of my first dye jobs. Can you tell? Yeah, I finished the floral border bit coming down here. I then moved over here, did some floral border this way. I did this flower pot. Didn't quite finish the flower pot. Tiny little bit to go on there, but yeah, did flower pot. Now I worked up this wreath here. And as a final nod to what I wanted to achieve this sample of September, I started Walter the Pigeon. I was like, if I don't start Walter this month, I am going to lose it with this project. I want the pigeon. I want Walter. So I made a point of jumping over to Walter and getting a little bit of him in, because I just needed some pigeon in my life with this project this month. I'd say now that I've just sat and pointed out all the bits I did, there was a lot of stitching done. So I can't be too mad, I don't think. The one bugbear I have right now is I do not have a skein of 731. I've been using 732 as a substitute, and I've decided I don't like it. You can really tell in some areas where the 732 is not quite the right fit for the job. So what I've done is I've omitted any 731 stitches so far, from the point where I realised I didn't like it very much, and I do need to just go in and put a few stitches of 731 into this piece. There's quite a bit in this wreath, probably some... Ooh. No, I just need to restitch some bits. Not all of it, I'll keep some of it where it doesn't really matter, but where it's really showing up I am gonna frog it and restitch it. So yeah, I just need to do a quick pass of one of the colours that's missing. But overall, I would say Anne Thomas is now looking like it's on the go. It hasn't. I'm not just stuck on those top pages anymore. I'm moving on. That's a good feeling. I'm glad I worked on it. It was nice to see her out. I've never worked on her so intensely before, so it was an experience. You can see my false start. I started it once going 2 over 2 and then decided I didn't like it and I never frogged it. I will, eventually, maybe. Alright, so that was the community craft along, if you will. The extra thing that I did, my dentist was extra nice to me this month, so I thought I would make her a little something. I don't have a picture for this one because I finished it. I finished Night Spirit Studios Tooth Fairy. Now, I stitched this on 56 count linen that I dyed myself, and I stitched it over 2. So it's kind of the equivalent of a 1 over 1 on 28, if you will. I substituted the 3865 with a white etoile, so there's a bit of sparkle in the tooth, and I painstakingly stitched the black work element of this project, the wings, in a petite treasure braid. Don't recommend. I did not enjoy stitching that. Well, I kind of did. I kind of enjoyed it because it was like a little puzzle, but it was slow, took some time. Like, goodness me, do not recommend. But I love the colour of that gold. I can't remember what petite treasure braid number it is, but it's quite a pale gold, and I think it sits really nicely amongst the otherwise called for colours. Night Spirit Studio actually gives you a grayscale conversion as well, so if you want to stitch this in grayscale you could do that, and the sparkle is so cool. I won't be able to show you the FFO because I do plan on gifting this to my dentist, but I plan to FFO it with a piece of lace. I will of course post that on my Instagram when it's done, so if you do want to see the FFO of this, just follow me on Instagram. I'll get that done for us and I'll post it as soon as it is complete. Yeah, I like this. This was fun. It was a pain. I'm not going to pretend it was like the easiest bit of stitching I ever did. It's only kind of small, like 2,200 stitches, and my days, that took me some time to do. Like, plus all the back stitch as well, obviously. But can't be mad at that. But that's that, I suppose. I've got the special long dogs, so I'm going to keep you longing out a little bit longer. We've got our got our 56 count 1/1 project, Sansu by Long Dog Sampler. Got this from 61.53 to 64.12%. What did we do? We finished up over here, I believe, and came down here, worked this flower in, and then started down here. And I've got a new thread on the go now that's going to work down the edge of this rhombus a little. So I think what's going to basically happen is every time I start a thread, I'm going to start high and just come down. So we're going to be working up kind of in strips from now on, I should imagine. But this is the project that people on Twitch redeem 30 stitches for at a time. It's a slow and steady project. We just work on it when we work on it, 30 stitches at a time, and they all add up. I'm quite happy with it. It always seems to come along at about 3% a month. And lots of people really like this and ask a lot of questions. I don't have answers. I don't use magnification. I just have good eyesight for now, you know. I'm aware that it's gonna degrade over time, so I'm just using it while I've got it. I use this fine sewing thread. It's a polyester thread, 100 weight. People always try to give me like alternatives. I know there's alternative threads, but I don't mind this one. It's the one I'm using. Like, unsolicited advice, I don't need it. Like, I'm quite aware, thank you, but I'm quite happy with the way I'm working this up, and I'd do it again. Let's put it that way. So that is... Ooh, I forgot to put a picture up. There we go. That is Sansu by Long Dog, and it's coming along fine, I'd say. Now, I know what you're all here for, so I'm going to deliver it now. The Beaded Long Dog. You've all seen it on Instagram. Lots of people have said so many nice things, and I really appreciate all your kind words. I don't have it in me to respond like thank you on repeat, but thank you for those kind words. I really appreciate it. All I did was put some time into this project. Like, it's not difficult what I did with this project. It just takes time. But you know, without further ado, you know, I'm just gonna let's just have a look at it, shall we? I'm gonna show you it here first. We're just gonna have a little look. So this is the Beaded Long Dog, and it's called Infatuation. It's one of the peccadillos. I do link it below. I link everything below unless it doesn't exist or I don't want to share the like charter or artist for various reasons below. But as you can see, it is 100% complete. It is stitched entirely in delicate beads with a Nymo thread. You can see it's a fairly invisible thread. And the shine on this is great. You just wait until I properly show you this in a moment. Look at that. The way the beads reflect light is so nice. It's the silver lined beads that have this effect. There are matte beads and there are pearlescent beads in here. And it's the silver lined ones that give off that light effect. It's so shimmery. Oh man. What a project. So this is 9,499 stitches, so 9,500 stitches, and it does shine. Let me see if we can get some of that shimmery effect. There it is. There's no way to translate on camera how pretty this is in real life, and for that I'm kinda sorry. However, you can find out. You can stitch your own beaded cross stitch. You can. It just takes a little dexterity, eyesight, whether that's using magnification or not, and time. It's a slow process to bead a cross stitch. You can do one leg of a cross and have all the beads on a diagonal, or you can put the second leg in and make them stand up nice and straight and square. there's no way to translate the way this shines. I'm trying to give you as much as I can here. Just the way the beads move, and it feels good. A lot of people have asked if it weighs a lot. Like, not really. I use less than 50 grams of beads on this project, so it weighs 50 grams more than the fabric does, I guess. Like, there's a bit of weight and heft to it, I suppose. Ooh. But I wouldn't say it's heavy. Like, I don't need to work out to pick it up, you know what I'm saying? Wow. I can't get enough of the way this shines, and I'm assuming that neither could you, and you just want to look at it for ages, so I'm just gonna carry on, really. I don't think there's that much more I can add about it. You can use any thread you like. If you want to stitch this using a DMC thread, you can. I would suggest maybe using a DMC similar to the colour of the bead that you use, but it will kind of show up. Worth noting, you might want to do a little test stitching. Just do a little block of like 5x5 or something with your chosen thread to see if you like the effect. Maybe do a second block next to it in an invisible thread, see which one you like more. But yeah, you can use any thread you like, as long as the thread and your needle can pass through the bead, you'll be fine. If you're going to do a 2-leg cross, I would suggest when you've done your first leg and you're putting the needle through for the second leg, just give that first leg a little bit of a tug to tension it, or you might end up with a saggy stitch, and then the bead might be a little more on the wonk. Also, some of these beads are on the wonk. You are not going to get perfectly straight beads, and that's fine. You don't need perfectly straight beads. None of these stitches are perfect, I promise you. Like, the effect from far away, you don't notice that they're on the wonk. It's all good. You don't have to be complete perfection to do this project, or to do a similar project, or to stitch anything in beads. And once again, I want people... Sorry, there's a car going by. I want people to pick up beaded cross stitch. I want you to translate a cross stitch into something beaded. I'm not the first person to have done this, and I certainly don't want to be the last. So find a project that only has one colour in it, or a couple of colours, translate that to some Delica beads. I would suggest Delica beads. I believe in the big bead conspiracy here. I don't know why we keep using Mill Hills. They're not as good. Get you some Delica beads, they're the best. I really like them. They're nice and square, you see. That gives that nice shine effect, I think. All adds up. Little details, you know. Yeah, get you some Delica beads in a couple of colours, a monochromatic project or a few colour project. It can be as small as just a medallion. Quakers work really good. Quirky Quakers, modern folk embroidery patterns, stitch a peccadillo again. Like, there are quite a few peccadillos to choose from, and they're typically about 10,000 stitches, so you know, it's a showstopper without being a lifetime project. Stitch something big, stitch a whole massive log dog if you want. Like, the more impressive the better, I suppose, but I just want to see more people pick up beaded cross stitch, because these finishes are so worth the time it takes. I do have a second one ready to go, and you will see that next time. I just need to dye the fabric, but that is what you've been waiting for. I'm probably not going to sort out a finish feature today, because I've got some. They're just not that good. I would rather see if I can do a little... I forgot to set up my Discord thing, and I don't really edit my videos, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. Where is... Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay. No, that's worked. Good-o. I'm gonna have a little look at some community finishes. It is no longer new bug day. I got some new bugs. I keep reptiles and inverts. I should really change my new bug day. Okay, so the community finish parade. This is where people in the community very kindly let me share what it is that they have been up to over the last month. I'll get there in the end. There we go. So we're starting out with Miss Nonanara with Away We Ride from Blackbird Designs. Almost all called for. Substituted 2 on 32 count linen vintage white. How cool is that? I know quite a lot of people are stitching this one. I think it actually... Oh, I just realised my camera. I'm going to just hide that up. I'll get it together one day. I'm not the best creator sometimes. Yeah, I know a lot of people are stitching this one. Nonanara's actually got it framed and everything. That looks so neat. Away we ride to its darkest pitch to find the home of the Wicked Witch. What a project. I love these little birds. And the little sparkles. And the border and the house. Everything. I love everything. What have we got here? A deco has Introverted by Silver Creek Samplers. Using a blue variegated thread for the text. Change some thread schemes to be favorite DMC colors. And I will link Adiko's Instagram below if you'd like to go give him a follow. What we have here is Introverted, but we'll eagerly discuss everything cross-stitch. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. There's a little skein of DMC, a little tomatoey pincushion there, some other bits and pieces. Such a neat little project. And finished quite quickly too, a little thimble. Brilliant. What a project. Okay, so Teal's come in with a kit from Abras Art. The fabric is Dark Celestial 18 count from Easy Stitch for Fun on Etsy. And they found the frame as an antique apparently. And didn't use gold beads which were in the kit. So this is like a little better fish and it is so pretty. Look at those like corals and reds and the oranges and golds. It's just stunning. And Teal is also working on a blue one of these, so together they are going to look so good. I love that one. I enjoyed watching that get worked up. Teal also stitched the Geology Rock Collection from Mathosphere on Etsy. 28 count fabric and added some extra beads to the sandstone. So we've got some minerals, rocks, gems, fossils, granite, bismuth, sandstone, beryl, shale, gypsum, hematite, ammonite, amethyst and opal with a little hammer for good luck. There's some real cute stuff in this project and I really appreciated watching that get worked up as well. The sandstone is so pretty and the amethyst, yeah. Really nice project. And the general has been working on this small full coverage Mothman and has also framed it. Easy Stitch for Fun is the Ada Dyer. The Mothman Fly at Sunset is by Meg C. By Meg C. And it was stitched on 20 count Ada, so let's have a little look at that. This fabric is stunning and works with this Mothman so good. Look how cute this little Mothman is. I love him. And the general is my real life friend, so I'm going to be able to see this in person and I'm so gassed. I'm so excited to see it in person. Like the trees and the, oh man, what a pretty project. 10 out of 10. And Sketch is coming in with a couple more finishes. Sketch knitted a emotional support alien from Quail and Cotton. And look how cute. He's got a little eyeball, a little squiggle. It's so cute. I love him. I hope he brings so much emotional support because I don't think he'll fail in his task. Honestly, look at that. I feel emotionally supported just looking at that alien. And well, not quite finally, but another one of Sketch's finish. Bat with Bell by Urban Stitches. I also recommend. This is so good and I watched him stitch this up over time, and it worked up quite quickly whenever he had it out. There are really dense areas, there are lighter areas that don't take so long, but look how the black work uses density to create shadow and solid areas and shine. Like, what a brilliantly charted pattern by Urban Stitchers, and Sketch has absolutely done it all the justice in his stitching. Absolutely stunning finish. Love that. And finally, Sketch has made another pattern. So you might remember that Sketch designed our Bee Scorn. He's now designed a needle book. It's an alien themed needle book, and you can find it at his Ko-fi shop, which I am going to link below. And this is relevant because this month, for October, sorry, Sketch is once again leading the community stitch along, and we are going to be stitching on things that are out of this world, or crafted on things that are out of this world. So anything to do with space, other planets, other realms, other worlds, fantasy worlds, they all count. So if you come along and, you know, chat with us on Twitch at any point, we can direct you to Sketch's Discord where you can join in. I'm really excited for this. I'm going to be working on Contessa with Squid because she's a bit alien-esque. I'm also going to be working on Garden of Earthly Delights because although it's Earthly Delights, there's something otherworldly about the scene. It's not really given Earth, if I'm honest. So I'm going to be working on those projects for our monthly stitch along, and that is all from me today. So I'm gonna go because my throat it's ruining me. Apparently I'm not doing very well. I can't talk. I'm running out of words. But if you have been here today, I really appreciate it. Do some YouTubey things. Maybe let me know down below what you've been working on while you've been watching this video, and I will see you again next time. Alright, happy stitching, and yeah, see you again.